Hi, I'm Dr. Karen Perkins, and we are live at the Speaking Empire Amplify event here in the beautiful downtown Newport Beach. And sometimes you get to meet that person that is so amazing that your life is altered forever. Well, I've had that opportunity because I get to be here with Daven Michaels.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And Daven, you are the ultimate when it comes to marketing.
Yeah.
And you do so many great things. Tell us a little bit more about what it is that you do.
Sure. Well, I'm CEO of 123 Employee, the premier outsourcing centers in the Philippines. We have hundreds and hundreds of employees. We work with entrepreneurs all over the planet and some of the biggest thought leaders all over the globe. And we do all the busy stuff in their business, from internet marketing to social media, telemarketing, back office tasks, inbound, outbound voice, all the busy stuff so they can focus on growing their business and doing the things that really juice them and excite them.
And that is so important, especially for entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurs do what? They try and do everything, and then they don't get anything done.
Yeah, we try that. We call that do-it-myself-itis.
Do it myself. I like that. Do it myself-itis.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, if you were to give us one tip or hint of something that you do that works really well for you,
Sure.
What would that be?
Well, for me, I'm very leveraged in my business, so I am all about outsourcing and delegating everything in my business. Now, at the core of who I am, I'm a micromanager, and I think most entrepreneurs, at least my age, our age, tend to be micromanagers because we grew up without the internet. We grew up in the early days where we were doing everything ourselves. But today, what I'm really focused on is what is the highest and best use of my time. And because I'm this micromanager at the core of who I am, I'm always thinking all day long, probably about 20 times a day, is this the highest and best use of my time? Is this the highest and best use of my time? And if it's not, then that's something that I outsource or delegate to somebody else on my team.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Now, what actually led you into this particular niche?
Into the business of outsourcing. What I hear so often from so many entrepreneurs is I fell into it. And the reality is that's what happened to me. I came out of the music and television production business. So I produced music and television for about 15 years. And I had a friend of mine, his name was Ian Rich. He had a publishing deal for Asia, and he had a project that he was very involved in, and he was buried in it. And he brought me in to do some production work. And that got me on that side of the world. As a matter of fact, my book, Outsource Smart, which became a New York Times bestseller, I credit him in the front of the book for giving me the keys to the kingdom, which was really Southeast Asia. And so he got me into that world. I was on that side of the world several times a year, and that's how we started our outsourcing company. And in the early days, it was humble beginnings. It was just an extension of our own business. And then one day I had this idea, and I have plenty of dumb ideas, but occasionally I have bright ideas. And that bright idea was, why don't we start marketing this and offering it to other businesses? And in the early days, it was a very bumpy ride because the infrastructure wasn't there. The infrastructure that exists today, which just wasn't there. But we muddled through it, and today, we have hundreds and hundreds of employees on 3 continents, and it's a quickly, growing business, grows fast.
I love that. I love the keys of the kingdom.
Yep.
Now, we're at the Speaking Empire event, and they also give us keys to the kingdoms.
Well,
but
the
if you were to
guys-
give something, what would it be?
Yeah,
the guys?
well, the guys gave me a huge key to the kingdom. So for me, I've been self-employed. I tell people I've been self-employed for 30 years, but the reality is it's been a lot longer than that. I'm pretty old. And yeah, I know, older than it looks. So I've been self-employed for over 30 years. And I've always been grateful to have that time freedom. Most of those years have been fruitful, to have the financial freedom. But it wasn't until I started speaking and teaching and making a difference in other people's lives that I really found my true nirvana. And that was really because of Daven Dustin, because of Speaking Empire, because I did start out as a speaker without the guys. They were actually just friends of mine. And it's a long story. So the short story is when I first started, first I was keynoting and I did fine. And then when I started selling from stage, the first time I did it, I really failed miserably. I fell on my butt. And it was a terrible disaster. And at the time, Dave and Dustin and I were friends, and I asked them, should I do a power day? And they're like, yeah, if you want to do it, do it. And I was like, well, I'm doing so well, So finally I tanked on stage, and my first call was to Dave. And I remember I called Dave, and I didn't even tell him that I tanked, because I was afraid. I didn't want anyone to know. And I said, hey, can I come in and do a power day? And he said, sure. And I did. And then I went out, and at first I took a little bit of tweaking, but then I crushed. And as a result, today I'm asked to speak all over the globe,
Right.
and to huge audiences. And for me, and then I went back and did a second Power Day, by the way, and that turned into literally an 8-figure business, which was really cool. But it wasn't until I started speaking and teaching and empowering and making a difference in other people's lives that I really found my true nirvana. It's my greatest privilege and joy that I have in my business, and as you can tell, I'm very humbled by that. And they allowed me to have a voice, and so I owe them a huge debt of gratitude for both how they've helped me on a business level and their wonderful friendship. So, it's been truly life altering for both myself, my family, our probably tens of thousands of people that have seen me on stages, and our and our hundreds of employees and their hundreds of families, and it just ripples from there.
I think that's awesome. Now, I know all of these folks would love to bask in your wisdom and get the keys to the kingdom from you. So
Sure.
how do they find you so they can come to one of your events or to have you work with them with the
Absolutely.
marketing and outsourcing?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So there's 2 ways to find me. You can find my company at 123employee.com, or you can find more about me and my coaching services and masterminds at davenmichaels.com, and that's where our events are too. That's DAVEN, so like Dave with an N, DAVEN, MICHAELS.com.
And no dot in there, just davenmichaels.com.
Exactly.
That is awesome. You guys, seriously, keys to the kingdom. He gets you where you need to be. Everybody that's ever been to one of your events has done nothing but rave about how fabulous you are.
We're really proud of our events. It's a labor of love. My VP Vijal and I were kind of transformation junkies. So not only do we educate, but we certainly edutain, and really it's awesome. And we've delivered our events in Australia, New Zealand, Asia, Europe, the U.S., and we're still going strong. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Come get the keys to the kingdom. Go see Daven Michaels looking up 123 employee or davenmichaels.com.
Great.
Daven, thank you so much for visiting with me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Okay, your test.